Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're taking a look at interpret, use equations, graphs, and tables. So before we can get to that, we need to discuss an important concept, which is linear functions, which should make some sense to you because you've dealt with this before. Linear tables have the same slope between any 2 points in the table. Examination of linear versus nonlinear equations form a table. If you would like, there's a link here on the website. You can take a look at this. Basically, linear tables, you need to be changing at a constant rate. So that means that when you plot your points, if you draw a line through them, it should make a straight line, hence linear. Okay. Linear equation can be rewritten in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. And like I just mentioned, linear graphs are always a line. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is looking at a few equations to see if it is a line or not. So y equals negative 5x plus 3. Take a look how this closely resembles y equals mx plus b. Okay, boom. This is linear. Yes, linear. And if you had to give an explanation, you could say that negative 5 is your m, b is your 3, so on. Okay. Now, if you look at part b, you might be thinking to yourself at first glance like, this doesn't look too good. But you can move the 4x over by subtracting it to the other side. You can divide everything by 2. And I know this looks ugly, but it's going to be linear again. M is your negative 2, b is your negative 3/2. So this is, yes, linear again, and you can again write that out if you had to give a huge explanation for it. Please look at part C, though. What stands out to you about part C as compared to A and B? Hopefully, you guys can see this x squared right there. This is not linear. This is actually called quadratic. Okay? So it's a parabola, and you can actually graph that with your calculator and see it real easily too. It's going to be a U-shaped curve. Lastly, part D, y equals 8. I know you might be inclined to say, hey, there's no mx, whatever, so it has to be nonlinear. But if I look at this equation, all this means is that my m is 0 and my b is 8. This is actually a horizontal line. And a horizontal line is linear, so yes, linear. Okay. All linear graphs will pass the vertical line test. You guys have seen this before as well, VLT. Okay, it's not just a delicious sandwich. Take your pen, throw it down, or pencil. You're going left to right. It needs to only ever hit 1 point. So you look at part A. See how I'm okay, but right there in the middle, if I draw a line straight up and down, it hits right here and right here. This would not be linear. Okay, or rather, this would not be a function, not a function. Because this question is asking you which graph below shows y the function of x. Right here, same idea, it hits 3 points, boom, boom, boom. This one, it can hit there and there. Now this one you might be like, oh, it's the same exact graph, what's the big deal here? But if it's really hard to see, this is an open circle. This is a closed circle. So when I draw a line straight down, it doesn't hit more than once. This is a function. Okay? This is a very easy test. It's something that they can definitely expect them to throw at you on this test. It's actually like a freebie point because, this is not bad. You're just doing the VLT straight up and down, seeing if it hits more than 1 point, and you'll be in good shape. Alright, number 3, the graph of a function is shown to the left. Which value is not in the range of the function? Explain how you arrived at the answer. Range is all of your y values. Okay? So I'm looking at my y values here. Now use your answers to your advantage. Here's 0. 0 is right here. Where is my graph at? Right here. See how it's closed in? So at 0, this works. The question is asking for not a value of your range. So this would not be it. Look how I jumped to 3 now. 3 is right here. If I go left or right, there's an open circle here, which means it does not work. This is looking pretty good. Let's check out the rest of them. 4, I'm okay, all of these things right here. And 5, closed circle. So 3 will be my answer. Okay. Number 4, a pizza restaurant charges for pizzas and adds a delivery fee. The cost C in dollars to have any number of pizzas P delivered to a home is described by a function C equals 8P plus 3, where the following statements is true. Explain your reasoning. The cost of 8 pizzas is $11. This makes 0 sense. Okay. I wish that was true because I'd be eating pizza for like every day. but it doesn't make any sense. The cost of 3 pizzas is $14. It's possible, okay? But let's check out the other ones. Each pizza costs $8 and delivery fee is $3. Okay, look at your cost right here. The 8's in front of the number of pizzas. That means the price per pizza. And the $3 tacked on is just how much you're paying no matter what for delivering. This one's looking pretty good. Let's check out the last one. Each pizza costs $3 and delivery fee is $8. Again, that would be reversed here. Okay, because I'm not paying $3 per every pizza, I'm paying $8. So this is my go-to. Okay, this also brings you into the topic of a lot of these questions on the Keystone involve you looking at problems and evaluating what they're asking you. So it's different as opposed to you typically just saying, oh, here's your equation, you bought 10 pizzas, how much did you pay? Like, it's different, okay? So make sure that you guys are able to look at the context of the problem, pick out what each thing means, and they're going to throw real world problems at you like this, like buying pizzas, grocery stuff, so on. Okay? Alright. Number 5, the table below shows values of y as a function of x. Which linear equation best describes the relationship between x and y? Explain your reasoning. Alright, I needed to get my mx plus b here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use slope formula. Here's the nice thing. You can pick whichever point you want. I'm going to pick the first 2 because they're smallest. And smaller numbers are easier to work with. 25 minus 10 divided by 6 minus 2. I'm looking at 15 over 3, which is 5. By the way, this formula, given to you. You don't have to memorize it. Now down here, this is my slope, which means it goes in front of my x. What's the only problem down here that has a 5 in front of my x? Well, if you look hard enough, you'll see D. If there was 2 problems here, my answer is D, so we win. But if there was 2 answers down here, like say this was y equals 5x plus 2.5, all you'd have to do then is go back to y equals mx plus b, pick a point over here, pick this slope, plug it in. So I'd pick 210. 10 goes in for y, 5 goes in for m, 2 goes in for x, and you'd solve for it. B equals 0. Does that make sense? Okay. I just want to show you that because not every problem is going to work out as nicely as this one. They're going to typically throw 2 answers in there that might be very close to each other. Lastly, it says graph the correct equation from problem number 5. So I'm graphing y equals 5x. Ladies and gentlemen, what's my y-intercept? My b? Oh, we just solved for it, 0. So I'm going to go to 0 and plot a point. My slope is 5. I go up 5 and go over 1. Have 2 points plotted. We'll travel. I'm done. Okay. So that concludes graphs and tables, or interpreting using equations and graphs. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And as always, keep up the good work and good luck. We are all counting on you.